Hi and hello, welcome everyone. And here we have a very special guest today, Rich Brady, and I would like to welcome him to SatSure and our very own city, Bangalore. And I would like to introduce him. He is a CEO, Society of Defense Financial Management, Chair Emeritus, Institute of Management Accountants. Rich, tell me something about you to our audience apart from your official introduction.
No, absolutely. Thank you very much, Nidhi. It's a pleasure to be here, and I want to thank SatSure for inviting me here to Bangalore for this event. So as you said, I'm the CEO of the Society of Defense Financial Management and Chair Emeritus of the Institute of Management Accountants. So I'm a finance and accounting professional who work in the defense sector within the United States.
Rich, tell me about your experience so far here in our event and how did you like it?
No, thank you. It's been a wonderful experience so far. I've been here only about 48 hours, but it seems like it's been a week or two already. It's been a whirlwind of food and events and getting to see the SatSure office and talking to experts in the space field here in India.
Great. Could you tell something which struck you when you visited SatSure office and which you would like to highlight to our audience, which stayed in your mind while as an impression?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think the thing that struck me most about SatSure when I went to the office was the company culture. It's a young, vibrant company with a lot of very smart professionals who are working there, who seem really energized about the work that they're doing. And that's one of the things as an organizational leader that I always look at is the organizational culture and to see how that supports the mission of the organization.
Yeah, great. Talking about like how about the space technologies booming, so I mean, from past 1 decade, very much into commercialized space. So how do you see space organization integrating environmental goals and accountability towards sustainability towards long-term operational efficiency?
Yeah, no, again, great question, Nidhi. First of all, let's talk a little bit about the space economy overall globally. It's about a $500 billion business right now, and it's projected to grow up to be about a $2 trillion business by 2040. So there's a lot of opportunity in the space sector in many areas, including environmental and sustainability, agribusiness, business, industrial capabilities. So it's got really far-reaching capabilities beyond just the traditional defense and national security capabilities. And I think that's what we're seeing over the past 10, 15, 20 years is increased commercialization of the space sector. And that reflects its broader appeal and broader applicability.
Yeah. As space technology becomes central and global intelligence and infrastructure, how can it be leveraged to promote transparency, peace, and trust among nations rather than a competition or conflict?
Yeah, by its very nature, space is that domain is an area that really demands cooperation. As organizations and companies are trying to really promote the opportunity of space, they have to work together. Again, there's opportunities for government, there's opportunities for the commercial sector, small businesses, startups, academia, and for global cooperation. And I think that that's where we really need to focus right now in order to ensure that the space domain properly functions long-term for the good of mankind.
Like we've always observed that space technology and satellite data, things are used for security purpose stuff, and over the period it's commercialized. Now we are seeing a different shift where the technology is kind of entering into defense and other markets. So how do you see that? Which are the technology shaping it and how it's making an impact there?
Yeah, I think if we look back historically, 50 years ago, even in the United States, most advanced technology was developed in the government sector, in the public sector, and migrated to the commercial sector. But that has shifted over time, really with the dot-com boom, and now in the early 2000s, and what we're seeing with generative AI is advanced technologies are being developed in the commercial sector and then migrating to the public sector. And I think this shift that we're seeing in the space industry, where governments are partnering and public-private partnerships and encouraging the commercialization is a reflection of that. The government itself is not going to be able to be the leader in most areas in advanced technology. It's going to require the use of commercial companies and startups to help drive that innovation.
Space-based intelligence plays a growing role in safeguarding communities. And how can public-private partnerships advance the use of technologies like Earth observation and for humanitarian reasons?
Yeah, so obviously the government comes with a vast amount of resources and an understanding of really what the priorities are for the nation. And so that's where it's helpful for startups and small businesses and the commercial sector to understand what those priorities are, to develop the technologies to address those most imminent or pertinent challenges for countries and society.
Yeah. What new skill sets do you think will be critical for professionals operating at the intersection of finance, strategy, and nation growth and space intelligence?
Yeah, with any new industry like this, and you may say, well, the space sector is not necessarily new, but it is evolving rapidly. There's definitely a demand and need for increased talent. And I think we're seeing already that there's a shortage of talent in many areas. So, you know, at the basic level, you've got talent like understanding of information technology, the latest in computing technology, artificial intelligence, machine learning, all the way to data analytics as well. And it has to be supported by other fields like finance and accounting to understand the valuation of companies, the return on investment for these, for what companies are putting into this, supply and logistics to understand the challenges in the supply chain when it comes to components and technologies for the space sector. And even human resources plays a part in identifying the skills that are going to be necessary and working with academia to make sure that our colleges and universities are putting out the talent that the industry needs.
Now we are seeing line being merging between the private and public use. So how do you see what kind of leadership mindset startups in this field should have to scale?
Yeah, so you know, it's obviously important for startups to have a clear eye on what their vision and mission is. I mean, they need to understand, you know, what business they're in, who the customers they're trying to serve, and what is their ultimate mission, and how are they going to monetize that? How are they going to make money? There has to be that profit motive that drives innovation. But it's also important for them to understand the bigger picture and what the space sector can do across many areas. Again, from agribusiness to insurance, financial services, what it can do for society and what it can do for a nation as well to have a strong and vibrant space industry.
Yeah, that brings back to me the question, like the kind of investment goes into it, and being in startup at a nascent stage, how do you see the investment can be,
Yeah, so obviously startups, there's a lot of risk in startups, and it's difficult to attract capital. You know, the space sector is a very capital-intensive industry, and so governments can help in this area by providing seed capital to startups so that they can do proof of concepts, do the research and development proof of concepts that they can then take to the commercial sector for actual direct capital investments.
Great. And do you see any like talent gap where we have to train people, or for this particular sector where it's booming from public to commercialization and startups, like any talent gaps which you see?
Well, clearly, engineering. Many engineers are employed by government, and there's an increasing need for those in the private sector and the commercial sector, particularly here in India, and with companies like SatSure. And so that would be one. Basic computer programming, the understanding of data analytics in the age of generative AI, and how you can use generative AI and eventually agentic AI to enable greater clarity in the data analytics.
Talking about technology, like as Gen AI and other technology, we have incorporated quite later than other sectors or other domain when it comes to financing or other. But space sector has taken this quite later, the implications of it. How do you see that? Like, will it scale now? Are we ready to take up the agentic AI move, like taking the decisions?
Yeah, I think with all sectors, all functional areas are still trying to fully understand and appreciate the opportunity with artificial intelligence. It's really kind of new across the board. Some areas it's advanced quicker than others, but in the area of space, obviously when it comes to, there's a lot of data that's generated, and organizing, sorting all of that data, and finding key insights from that is an opportunity for AI. But again, you have to have the people who understand it. We're still at the stage where you have to have humans in the loop with artificial intelligence. You can't just leave it up to AI to run and operate on its own. There needs to be knowledgeable people behind the scenes who know how to prompt the questions. Once the data comes out, they can sift through it and validate it, ensure it's accurate before it's actually used.
Great. What challenge do you see from software and hardware, like from entire ecosystem? Because when we are producing hardware, there's even more capital intensive, and we do need hardwares also. So how do you see that shaping the ecosystem right now?
I think one of the biggest challenges on the hardware side, as you said, one, it's very capital intensive. So companies, startups who are going into the hardware side of the business need to have a lot of investment to keep going. Second, there's a somewhat fragile supply chain right now, very long lead times to get some of the key components for, let's say, the satellites. And then finally, everything is in a very tight scheduling window, starting with the launch ultimately there, and then backing up from there to the manufacture of the satellite, to ensuring you've got your components in place and make sure there's time for testing. So when you back all that up, you're working 18 to 24 months out of a launch. And if you have any slip up in that chain of events, in that development of that satellite, you could miss your launch window. So there's a lot of risk in this business right now.
Yeah. And like in software, we have like open data, we make it available to people, and things can be built upon more above than the foundational models. But when we talk about hardware, there is always IP comes into picture. Is there any way you see in future where nation can co-create or co-develop upon with relationship as well as helping each other?
Well, yes, and I think that's where the opportunity is with government to help businesses and startups, is to, at the highest level, at the government level, create partnerships with other countries to reduce the risk in the supply chain, so that key components to the satellites or to the launch vehicles can be imported and used. Obviously, there's opportunities for the startups to establish their own joint ventures, but it takes a national level effort to support this as well.
Great. And do you see some challenges while incorporating nuances like trying out, because we invest so much into R&D being in startup in this space ecosystem? So how much the ratio, just with your guidance, like how much the ratio should be on R&D, then scaling and delivering?
Yeah, I think by its very nature right now, where the industry is, there's going to be a lot more investment in the R&D. And there has to be a lot more failure, quite frankly, in R&D. That by its very nature, when you talk basic science or even some of the advanced science, there's going to be a higher failure rate. And there needs to be, based on, again, where the industry and the sector is right now, particularly in a country like India that's just starting now to grow over the last few years, grow significantly in its space sector. So I would expect to see at least 50 to 75% of expenses being in the R&D side, and then that's slowly decreasing as more goes into production.
Great. And with the scenario currently at geopolitical and the modern warfare and stuff like that, how do you see, like, we do secure, every nation has a right to secure themselves and they do have certain things. How do you see this moving forward? Like, can we support each other or cross-border relationship Would you like to throw some light on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, there's a lot of tension, geopolitical tension out there right now as we sit here today. But I think each country has to look at first what's in their national interests, and I think they'll find that it is in their national interest to cooperate, to look for opportunities to cooperate. So where you can align interest, your country's interest with another country's interest, whether it's in the space sector or other areas, look for those opportunities and engage in the discussion. That's where there's the opportunity for value creation.
How do you see the scale of investment so far in this industry from past 2 decades? Or was there any happened in past so much of momentum?
Yeah, I would say that from a global perspective, the investment in the space sector somewhat stagnated for a couple decades, but over the last 10 to 15 years, it's significantly increased as there's been more commercialization of the space sector. In the United States, obviously over the last 15 years, you've seen the advent of SpaceX and Blue Origin, just to name a few that some people know very well. But there's a much larger ecosystem out there of small to mid-sized companies that are supporting that. And again, that's really been over the past decade and a half. And so I think we're seeing that globally, again, a recognition that the space domain is not just going to be used for defense and national security purposes, but there's great commercial potential for it as well.
I would like to have your thoughts on what kind of business you're seeing in the next 10 years coming in an eco-space system for India.
Yeah, I think that within this sector, there's going to be a little bit of a shakeout with some of the startups, some consolidation. Obviously, there's been a lot of startups in the area, a couple hundred of them that have just emerged over the last few years. As those technologies develop, some will mature, some will not, but that's likely going to lead to some consolidation within this sector. Also, I expect to see a lot of these small to mid-sized companies looking for joint ventures and opportunities with other companies, global companies, to gain access to capital and technology to further develop the capability here in India.
And how much business we could expect from US?
Well, I would say that there's likely interest even if we look in other areas where many US companies are shifting manufacturing to India to reduce risk, they're going to see that there's an opportunity here in the space sector as well. As India and these startups develop, again, new technologies, advanced manufacturing techniques, clean manufacturing techniques, there's going to be opportunities here. And so I think we're really just at the early stages of this, so it's probably too early to tell. But that's what was going on this week with a lot of the discussions with SatSure is what are the opportunities here for companies like SatSure to engage with US-based companies to advance their interests and the innovation in space technology. I just again want to thank Pratik Basu and the team at SatSure for inviting me here this week to be part of Karman Week. It's been a pleasure to meet Karman Fellows this week, and a very astute group of fellows that they have who have unique and great experiences in the space sector. And so again, thank you very much for inviting me out and allowing me to be part of this.
Thank you for the conversation.
Absolutely.